So this has got to be something power related. It's got to be. I just don't know how. So power supply appears to be fine. It's definitely rated for everything, and I never really paid attention before until I'm just sitting here cycling the power on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off. But I get the exact same error messages if I just cut power to it with the interface up as I was getting with it just sitting there. The only difference being that when I cut power, of course, all the LED, as I mess up the camera, all the LEDs on the board stay lit up when it's just having its issue dropping, and when I cut power, obviously they turn off. But I get the exact same message, so it's got to be, so it's definitely power related. So is it? Oops, knock over the phone. Check out my ceiling. Stay. I'd really love to see it just die right now. Right now. That didn't do it. I mean, I can wiggle the thingy a little bit, but I imagine that's just because it's not actually glued to the board. It's just the pins are soldered. I haven't grabbed a magnifier to check my solder joints. I mean, from my 47-year-old eyes, which are not what they used to be, I don't see any issue. Flexy, flexy, flexy. Gentle flexing. Being a kind and generous flexor. No error messages yet. No error messages yet. I think I'm just going to order a new power supply. Because I've removed every possible variable except for the power supply. Obviously, nothing is connected to it. Let's see. Right now it's still scrolling idle. So, first time I connected tonight, after I removed this, it failed. Gave me my error codes up here in the right hand corner saying that it lost connection, WebSocket error, and then eventually went to the no Wi-Fi screen. Second time I did it, I connected. It scrolled through idle twice and then just stopped. So it was no longer reporting anything. So it had somehow, for some reason, stopped talking to the computer. And right now that's obviously not the case. It's not focused on it, but it's scrolling idle just like it's supposed to. Seeing no error messages. And again, being abusive. That's me being gentle with my power brick. Upside down, right side up, on the side. No error messages. Okay, this cable. That could be so much simpler if when it did it, if the board would actually die and the Wi-Fi just stopped working and the LEDs turned off so I could tell that there was an interruption on the power, but that has never happened. So ESP is brand new. Ryan replaced that. Oh, how's that supposed to get? It's not like burning hot, but it's definitely warm. I think this is the antenna, so a little bit of heat there is probably normal. That's how much I know about these things. Until I started having issues, I assumed this entire chip was just the Wi-Fi antenna, but that's apparently the actual brain to the whole thing. So learn something new every day. That's a little warm. Obviously not so, I can't keep my finger on it, but it's a little warm. Drivers. And I'm just thinking out loud here, obviously. So flexing it. They look fine. Look fine. No codes, no codes, no codes. And it's scrolling just fine. And after it failed on me twice, I reconnected again. Then I moved it, didn't I? Because I did have it propped up like that. It failed. It failed. No, that's wrong. I had it laying there. It failed, it failed. Then I propped it up. And it stopped failing. And it's been showing idle ever since. So trying to eliminate variables, and I introduced one. Hey, science! I'm awesome. Frustration will do for you. See test ground. That's Ryan's file. Is it feeding? It is not. So started the run. Oh, here. Okay, so started the run. Oh, bam, there it is. Hey, got on video. Okay. So it has disconnected, LEDs are on. So I've had this thing sitting here just idling for 23 minutes according to my timer. Yep, there's WebSocket. And it was scrolling through idle well just fine, as you can see. And well, now it's gone. So something happened. It was, I have to replay the video, but I think it was sitting there when it was sitting there when I started the file. That is so random. And no load, obviously, because everything's disconnected. So if I try to connect again, it's going to say nope. Oh no, it did connect. Okay. So status is alarm. Alarm, alarm, alarm. MPOS, which is 0, so I'm not sure what it's alarming at. G-code commands are locked out during alarm or jog state. Okay, so that's... Okay, it's unlock. Error 152. Reset. Error configuration is invalid. Check boot messages for errors. Where are we at? Reset again. There's no maybe. Soft reset, so it's resetting now. Wi-Fi for help. I need help. Alright, let's see here. Still configuration is invalid. Okay, so let's power off. So now we're off. Boop. I'm just going to close this out and we're going to start from scratch. Power on. So this time I'm not going to move anything. And we'll try to run it again. So if it's a power supply related issue, so running in AP mode, I mean no internet. Oh, Christ, I'm not actually connected, am I? There's my card. Alright, there we go. So I've not touched anything. Okay, so now we're back to idle. Let's try to run that file again. So again, this is Ryan's G-code. Run it. Run. Now it's feeding. Alright, so now it looks like it's feeding correctly. No, it's not. It just stopped. Okay, so again, if it's power supply related, there's connection timeout. Connection timeout. So if it's power supply related, then my power supply is not capable of generating the milliamps just to run the board, because it shouldn't take any. Connection error. And this entire time, everything is still powered on. So LEDs have not flickered. So it's got to be one of two things. It is either the power supply, which it's not hot, and again I was being abusive to it. Or it's got to be something on the board. There's nothing else connected. It's obviously not G-code related, because the issue happens regardless of whether I'm running G-code or not, and even then with what I'm running is actually the test crown, the test files, which should be totally fine. I mean, they're the test files. And now I'm just rambling. The only thing I have left to do is I have to run upstairs and grab my tablet or use my phone. And connect with that. But I was getting the exact same, again, just thinking out loud, when I was working with it the other day, when it got to this state, I tried to connect by my phone and had the exact same issues by my phone. So it was reporting the same, it was connected, but being ignored entirely. So I don't think even if I went and got my tablet, I'll do that later on and see if I get any extra response. Otherwise it's going to be a few minutes of you just staring at my blank screen here. But it's either this or it's that, my power supply. And even when I switched out the power supply last night with I think it was 19, there it is. Of course, little teeny tiny print. 20 volts. Where's my amperage? It was either 3 or 3.5. I gotta get my glasses to be able to read this. It was failing on that, so that's two different power supplies. With it being no drivers attached to it, either one of them should have been able to deliver the amperage. I mean, this power supply I bought just for this. It's just a 24 volt. The other one was a laptop power supply. I was using it on my old laptop, and when I got rid of the laptop, I kept it. I am out of ideas. It's got to be one of the two things. Of the two, so I can buy a third power supply just on the chance I've got two bad ones. I mean, it's possible, but I would expect that the power on the board, the indicators would have flickered, would have done something if it was actually power related. Although up until it did that, I was thinking it was definitely something to do with the wires and the connections. Let's try it one more time. Power off. Let's turn you off. Now, these videos are just riveting, I'm sure. So if you make it through it, it'll probably be a beer. Okay, power's on. Connect fluid NC. It's gonna run. We're at idle. SD. Test crown. Test crown. Oop. Does it run? Yeah, we're running now. I can't remember how long this file actually takes to run. I don't think it's very long. Made it further than we did last time. Should bump up the feed rate. I'll leave it alone. Again, cutting out variables, so I'm not going to touch it. And it just, my magic hand, it just stopped. So again, we've stopped feeding. We're not at idle, so it didn't complete the file. And there's our connection timeout. Nothing's been touched. Nothing is moving. Obviously, I mean, nothing is moving. Except the G-code running up the screen. Connection timeout, WebSocket. Did. And there's connection error. Alright. I'm done for tonight. I'm actually happy to see, stupid as it sounds, I'm happy to see that I am getting now repeatable failures with no changes to anything. Although, I mean, let's change things. So we'll wiggle around. We are still connected firmly for power. I'll leave you right there. And then let's connect again. Power's on. Connect to the board. We're live. Idle, idle, idle. Magic hand. No, 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 no. That hasn't done it yet. Alright, maybe it's not the magic hand. And it was my right hand that was magic before, so. Are we still idling? We're still idling, okay. So let's run that again. Test crown. Run, okay. And there she goes. Magic hand. No, 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 no. Pointy, pointy, pointy. Okay, that wasn't it. Maybe it's only magic if I'm not knowing that it's magic. And it just stopped. Okay, so position didn't matter. It failed at different points in time. I wasn't running a stopwatch or anything, but I know two of those runs were definitely longer than that one. There's our connection timeout. Man, I don't get it. WebSocket connection error. Connection timeout. Request aborted, connection error. Okay, so now I am officially done. I don't know what else to do. So, alright, this has been a long, boring video. Like I said, if you made, oh, good lord, 20 minutes. So yeah, if you made it through it, I probably owe you a beer. Just for humoring me. So, power off. We're done. I'll contemplate. You know, I'm going to order a new power supply just for giggles. I mean, worst case, they've got an extra power supply. I'll go away from the brick style and go with the neat little metal cage CNC style that we tend to put on our other machines. They're not very expensive. So I'm going to do that, and maybe worthwhile. See, just maybe I'm getting some kind of weird fluctuations or something. But maybe it is. Maybe it's just a screwed up power supply, and I'm getting some kind of weird milliamperage thing that's kicking off the board. But I'll order it. I'll try it. And if I get a third power supply doing the exact same thing, then I'm really at a loss. So, alright, I'm done for tonight. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for, if you made it, thanks.